Welcome back, Spurs fans, to the Scott Hepler Football Channel. Today we're doing our predictive ponderings of the upcoming London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham on the 26th of September. So, big match, huge rivalry, probably arguably the biggest rival that Spurs have. So, it's definitely want to do our best here. We're going to speak to what we think Nuno is going to put out there as far as a lineup and the players that he's going to choose. And then I'll probably give thoughts on whether I agree or disagree with one or two of those positions or whatnot. But as we're going through, kind of ponder upon this. At this point in time in the season, who really is our best 11? It's we really haven't had a consistent 11, regardless of the competition that we've been in, whether it's Premier League, Carabao Cup, Conference League, Europa Conference League. So, there's a lot of jumbling up of the deck here, and there's not a lot of consistency within the team right now, and some of that has to do with injuries and the COVID protocols and such from coming back from the previous international break. But that's part of the game. That's part of what we play in. But we'll get right into it. So first, as far as injuries, we do still, at this time of this recording, have Bergwijn, Sessegnon, and Mora as on the injury list. That could change between this recording and the actual kickoff of the game. I'm doing this a little bit early. Probably won't get it posted till probably Friday, but I'm doing this video a little early because I'm heading out of town again. Sunday, I'm hitting the road. I'm actually going to be flying to Kauai. I'll be in Hawaii for 2 weeks. So this may be my last video, probably my last video for a couple weeks till I get back. I'll keep up to date with the scores and stuff. Probably try to watch a little bit if I can, but very unlikely that I will be doing anything while I'm in Hawaii other than spending time with my beautiful wife and relaxing in the sun and enjoying my time there. But with that being said, we're going to get right into this. The formation I think that we're going to use, that Nuno will probably use, is a 4-3-3 or kind of a version of a 4-3-3, like something like he's been using the past, really most of the season. He's kind of been doing more of a 4-3-3 or kind of a hybrid 4-3-3. In goal, of course, is going to be Lloris. There's no question who's there. Out at left back, I think it's still going to be Reguilón, even though Davies had a pretty solid match against the Wolves. Reguilón's still our best left back, and he's going to be there. Within the middle, I think he's going to go with Dyer and Romero for the center back pairing. They did really well, in my opinion, against Wolves, and I think Romero is really kind of starting to stamp his place in the starting lineup, especially in key matches and key competitions, because he's been showing well. And, there was a little bit of a concern, how is he going to adapt to the Premier League and things like that. I think he's starting to work into that quite well and doing a pretty good job. Dyer probably had one of his best matches against the Wolves this season, and I think he just really relies on Dyer. Now, my personal preference would be to actually have a Romero Rodin, because I still see mental errors in poor decision making a number of times in every match by Dyer, except for maybe the last match against the Wolves. But usually there's issues. It's just the opposition's not taking and capitalizing on those issues or those errors that Dyer has. So we've been fortunate in a number of matches, in my opinion, with Dyer. I still see him as a liability. It's not consistent enough, his good run of play. And we're utilizing our midfield significantly to protect Dyer or Sanchez or Dyer and Sanchez when they're in there together. So, and I feel like that Rodin is a true center back. That's what he plays, that's what he knows, and he has a far more advanced mental aspect of the game in that position than Dyer does. Since Dyer's coming from more of a defensive midfielder role into a center back. But so I would prefer Rodon, but I fully expect it to be Dyer and Romero unless there's an issue with one of them due to fatigue or something. Then you can see Rodon or Sanchez interjected in there somewhere. And probably Nuno would choose Sanchez over Rodon, which I still don't get. But okay. Moving out to right back, I think he's going to play Japhet. Japhet is our strongest defender. I think he likes what Japhet brings out on that right back position. While he doesn't provide as much going forward as what Royal will do, he is the better defender, bar none, between him and Royal. And I think he likes that attitude that Japhet brings. He says, this is my area, and no one's going to take it over. No one's going to move me out of my area. I own it. This is mine. And if you come in here, you may be very sorry that you did. And I think Nuno really appreciates that with Japhet. And I have noticed that Japhet is starting to become more involved in moving forward and get involved in the forward play. He had a few opportunities where he put in some crosses and things against the Wolves. And previously, when they had actually put Song out there on the right to start the match and had Japhet in the right back, they were interchanging and working really well together. So it's not that he can't do it. It's, is he paired up with the person that can actually work with him well and they can interchange with each other well. And I think him and Song had a good little cameo a few matches ago when they were on that same side. So I think Japhet's going to be our right back. Royal's an option. To me, Doherty's not even an option. He's there just in case tragedy happens, in my opinion, as far as Doherty. And we go to left midfield. As far as left midfield, I think it's going to be Dele. I still don't rate Dele as a starter for the Spurs, but Nuno has continuously played him regardless of how poorly he plays and how little he actually provides to the team and helping offensively and defensively, because at the position he's playing, he's supposed to be a box-to-box midfielder, and he really is not providing much assistance in either aspect. He did show a little more against Wolves. I didn't see much against Chelsea, just a little spot here and there, but still had a lot more negative actions, in my opinion, that I had in my notes in the Chelsea match than he did positive. So I think he's going to play Dele, but that would not be my choice. I would prefer to see Heel or Skip or someone else other than Dele. I don't think Dele's bringing anything to the table for us at this point in time, in my opinion, at least in that position. Not enough. Definitely not enough to warrant a start and play him a full 90 minutes, because he's yet to really pull him off after playing poorly in any match. Then we go to the center midfield, probably, more of the holding midfield position. I think he's going to put Højbjerg in there. While Skip's been playing much better, he's been showing better the last two matches. I thought he had a good, solid match against Wolves, and then when he came on in Chelsea, he had a good match. Højbjerg is the standard bearer for that midfield. I think he'll be in there, providing, he's got the legs and everything for it. On the right mid, I think he's going to put Ndombele in there. We need his ability to create and pass and move forward while he is a liability defensively and also, cheaply giving the ball away on occasion. Not as much as Dele does in any manner or form, don't get me wrong, but I think that's who he'll go with. At this point in time, I think even Lo Celso would be a better option than Dele, but because you'll get some defensive work out of him and such, more so than you do from Dele. But Ndombele has to be in there, in my opinion, because we don't have any great link between the back and to the forwards. And then on the left outside, I think he's going to go back with Heel out here. And I think Heel should be out there, that he's a little more comfortable on the left, more of his natural position. Put Heel out there, and he deserves the start. in my opinion. He's worked his way into a start, regardless of even if Mora or Bergwijn was available at this point. He's played very well the last few matches, and he's been interacting very well with Kane and Son and the link-up play and the things that they've been doing in that Chelsea match, even with Lo Celso up there, because Lo Celso played in that Chelsea match. It's been very good for him, the work that he's been putting in. So I think he deserves a start up there, and he'll probably get it, because he is one of the few wingers that we have, because 3 of our injuries are either wingers / midfielders. Then you got the center forward. Of course, it's going to be Kane. Regardless of how much he's playing, he has to play. We don't have a backup for him. I know Song is kind of the token backup, but he's also not really a center forward. So Kane will be in there, should be in there. And then out on the right wing, I think they should put Song on the right. He's been, like I said before, linking up really good with Japhet. I think he's probably strong enough to come in. He played a little bit in the Wolves match, looked good. He played a little bit in the Chelsea match. In that first half, he was causing a lot of havoc for Chelsea. And I think what we kind of need to do here with this 3-3 formation is, we got our back line, then Højbjerg's our holding midfielder, and then whoever, Ndombele and that other player, is more in a advanced pivot, not pivot back in front of the front line, but back line, but a pivot in front, up at the front line. And then also kind of drop Kane a little bit deeper. We were doing that against Chelsea, and it was allowing some lanes for the wingers to run in through, and it caused a lot of confusion for the Chelsea defense, which I think we can do the same with Arsenal. And it gets, Ian Kane right now is probably our best link-up play person, even when Ndombele's in there. So it adds another aspect, another avenue, another way to get the ball more forward and not have to lob it up so much. And he's not constantly just working with his back to goal. He can get in there, get the ball a little bit deeper than the front line, and allow himself to maneuver and pick out passes, whether it's through the back line or even off to the wingers or the advancing outside backs. But this is the team I think that Nuno's going to go with. Again, I think there's a couple of things that need to be adjusted if this is the team he's going with. Like, I would play Skip over Dele, in my opinion, and then put Skip in the holding midfield role, and then move Højbjerg out wide, and then I would put Roden in for Dyer. Other than that, I think this is the best we can do, and seems to have some cohesion within the squad and give us some stability. But if there's something that I've talked on, or a point that I made that kind of strikes a chord or makes those wheels start turning up in your head, whether you agree with it or not, hit that like button. Let me know that I'm sitting there and kind of analyzing things coming from a different angle and seeing things maybe a little different, which, that's okay. We all have different things that we see and whatnot, but if you can, let me know by hitting that like button. I appreciate that. And that gives us a little bit of a bench, not a great bench. But, we are thin, and that's just the way it's going to be going forward. I'm predicting a 2-1 win. I'm hoping for a 2-1 win. I very easily could see this be a draw. Anything goes within a derby. I don't think we'll lose. They have been struggling to score goals and get points, but everything kind of gets thrown out the window with these rivalry derby matches. So let me know what you all think, and come on, you Spurs!